first time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDELite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDELite.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for Up Next. Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, you're listening to us right now, or you're joining us
on twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. Hello, Twitch room.
Yes, we are the Up Next podcast, and we talk about NXT, but hey, we broaden our horizons. Maybe you want a different view or take on AEW.
Absolutely.
Dynamite, and that's what we do every Thursday, 1 p.m. We've been recording this live on Twitch. So, again, Wednesday nights NXT. After it goes off the air, we go live, talk about it. And Thursdays 1 p.m. on the twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. So, it's been fun with all these people joining into the shows, and every week people are joining in on either these or watch-alongs, and it's so much fun.
Yeah,
I will say.
This is the show we kind of let the dust settle a little bit from the night before.
Yeah.
Everyone's had a bit of time to kind of mull over the Wednesday Night War and what they liked best, what worked, what didn't work. You've had a chance to go on Twitter and form your opinions with the rest of the world, and then we're here to talk all about it and talk to our patrons if they wish to call it.
Yeah, any of you guys who are patrons, patreon.com/upnext, we take calls on this show. We're thinking maybe even adding some guests once in a while on this show down the line for other people who podcast and wrestling people. So we're thinking, and the gears are moving in the right direction. But we podcast a lot. We do so many podcasts. We do the NXT, we do AEW, we do the Patreon stuff. We mentioned Best Match Ever PWG was out with Martin Bushby. This week we have Open Neverweight title, Best of New Japan, with Mike Murray, friend of Post Wrestling.
Yep.
So that's pretty crazy. But I'm going to announce right now, so it's official.
Yes.
For next week. But next week there's AEW Revolution.
There is.
Headlined by an exploding barbed wire death match.
Yes.
And we were thinking, we do these best match ever, and it would be fun to do some sort of death match. Best death match ever, the BDE.
Yeah.
Best death match ever. And I thought, well, me and you, we're kind of soft. I don't know if we can handle watching these kinds of matches. So
where do we start even?
We don't know anything about it.
I don't think there's a section on Cage Match where you can look up exploding barbed wire death matches. Maybe I'm wrong.
Where's the Meltzer ratings on these things? So I thought, well, we should do a show. We should do the best death match ever. But we need help.
We do.
So I've reached out to friend of Post Wrestling and member of Fucked Up, Mr. Damian Abraham.
Yeah.
Agreed to join us for a best death match ever. And you know what? Since I like you guys so much, I'm going to put it out for free.
Yes, that'll be on this very feed next week.
Yeah.
Really excited for this one. Great lead-in for AEW Revolution. We've kind of done these best match evers before. We've done the Hell in a Cell when it's been Hell in a Cell season, TLC when it's TLC season, and now it's Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch season. So
yeah,
we thought we'd bring in the big guns. I've never done a show with Damien before, so this is really exciting.
I just chatted with him for a few minutes right before recording right now, and I was like, hey, are you interested in doing this? I couldn't think of anyone better than you to ask to do this. And he says, I'll come up with the list. His only rule was it can't be limited to just exploding barbed wire.
Okay.
So he's coming up with some other weird...
I'm excited. I've just kind of done a little search on Cage Match.
Yeah.
And I found... and I need clarification for this, but there was once a no ropes, exploding barbed wire, Dynamite pool elimination death match. I'm intrigued by the word, of all the crazy things in there, I'm most intrigued by the word pool.
Yeah.
Wait,
what?
Yes.
Pool?
I I don't know. But this is definitely one I'm kind of intrigued and looking at. Yeah.
Well, Damien was
explosions and water. That doesn't sound safe.
That's funny you say that, because he was just saying something about a match with piranhas and Joey Janela losing a arm or something. I don't know what we're getting ourselves into, to be honest. Again, we're not ready, I don't think. So Damien Abraham is going to be joining us out sometime next week, probably the Friday before the pay-per-view weekend for Revolution. So get your spirits up for the hardcore matches, the death matches in your life, and let us know which ones will make the list here. So I'm super excited about that, and again, we have all the shows out on the Patreon this week, including we just did Office Space and the Louis Theroux Weird Weekend, and the wrestling one, and I highly again recommend people to check that out as well. Last night we just watched NXT. We were both kind of down on it. I'd say wasn't as high up on. I think everything. Whenever a show starts, whatever wrestling event you're watching, and the first opening, whether it be a match or something, it's gotta get you. And when it was Johnny versus Dexter, it definitely didn't feel like it was pulling me in.
It sets the tone. I think you can have a killer match at the end of the night, but then you're talking about saving the show. And by then, I feel often defeated after a 2-hour show if you then go, oh, well, the main event was good. And I'm completely with you. You need a hot opener. Obviously, I do my Impact shows on Tuesdays with Andrew, Deep Impact. And the last couple of weeks, they've started with a pretty entertaining match. And it puts you in such a better mood for the rest of the show. And you end up forgiving silly shit. At least I do when I watch. Because you go, all right, I've already seen one good wrestling match tonight. I'm kind of happy. And I hope the main event lives up as well. But, it's not a good start last week, I didn't think. Last night, I mean.
Yeah, it sets the tone. Like, I find AEW always starts off with a hot match that instantly makes you go, like, oh, like, I'm interested into seeing the rest of the show, because that was great. And I feel like, again, we kind of went off on Dexter Lumis last night, but that character's kind of run its course. And it just put this damper on the show where, again, we're always NXT first here, black and gold, baby. But that literally made me go, should I see what the other shows do? Because like that's how I felt. So I
agree.
And I know, like, in our Twitch chats and our fan base and our community and stuff, people there's channel flippers. Are you a channel flipper out there? Do you watch both shows at the same time? Is it possible? Can you do it?
I don't think I would be. If we weren't doing the show, I don't think I'd be a channel flipper. I'm not necessarily saying I'd watch the same show every week, like first, but you can record shit, you know? You can watch stuff online. I'd rather just watch both properly than half-assed.
Okay, so you'll be honest and say that if you weren't doing this, you'd watch AEW?
Depends on the card. Like, if we're doing a Halloween Havoc or a Great American Bash or stuff like that, absolutely, I'm going to watch NXT. If NXT's headlined by a big title match or there's a big tag match I want to watch, I'm gonna pick that. But next week, for instance, they're building AEW up to be a bit of a pay-per-view. This kind of felt like a go-home show. And then next week is also the go-home show to their big pay-per-view. So I'd probably pick AEW, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, like, it sucks that it's the Wednesday Night Wars, but it's technically the Wednesday Night Wars in Canada, officially. Now that you can watch wrestling on both channels.
You can, yeah.
So it's officially the Canadian Wednesday Night War as well, of wrestling. But wrestling's just taken over. The boom is still kind of here, I guess. But and I don't really care too much about ratings and stuff like that. People watch a lot by other means, and who knows, downloading torrents, all that stuff. If there's people torrenting our podcasts, people know how to torrent wrestling shows, and there's a lot of people watching.
As long as neither show's going to get cancelled, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
To be honest, it means nothing to me. I don't care if it seemed like NXT got a great deal with Burger King yesterday. Good for them, but like it doesn't really bother me as long as it's not like, hey, they need to get these numbers up or we're going to cancel it. I really don't care.
I wonder.
And even if they do cancel it, we'll just be online, right? So it doesn't really affect me. But it is interesting to see every now and then what kind of promotional tactic or match that's been announced kind of spikes a rating or does better than the other.
Shaq.
It's interesting on that. Yeah, maybe.
Shaq is that draw. I think that you could potentially see WWE moving NXT to just Peacock. I think that's something that could happen. Although we just got it in Canada now, like NXT here. So I don't know. Maybe it won't.
That's completely a USA
Yeah.
decision, though. I can't see, like, that's not something WWE are going to want to do. And,
Yeah.
like, unless USA has something else lined up in that slot, you're talking 2 hours on a Wednesday night that still gets you viewership. Like,
Definitely.
what's the point? Unless you got something good, like, that's going to do better than that. Like, why not? Just keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see, like, I know, like, ratings are different these days, but then, you know, I saw the ratings for Young Rock, because that was making rounds, and I'm like, damn, that's fucking crazy. So, wrestling isn't anywhere near that.
Wrestling's still such a niche. I kind of think we're beyond ever having that boom we had in the late 90s, again, where everyone's jumping on board. I feel we're kind of past that. It's more about trying to attract maybe the odd new viewer, and trying to pull back in those previous viewers that kind of lost interest. I think that's where the target is. Young Rock's going to appeal to everyone. Like we've both mentioned, our mums like The Rock. My mum doesn't like wrestling, but my mum likes The Rock. So maybe someone like my mum will tune in. Everyone knows who The Rock is. You hear there's a comedy drama about his life. It doesn't matter if you've watched wrestling or not. You're going to tune in, and the ratings kind of showed that.
I can't wait for young Sting.
Oh, yeah?
That'd be great. Out of all the wrestlers, what wrestler would you pick for the
A young,
show?
like a biography?
Young Sting. What would you? Because they're doing young Hogan technically with what?
You know, I
Thor
think
guy.
I think I know a lot. He's not everyone's favorite right now for many, many reasons.
Okay.
But I think Jericho would be interesting.
Okay.
Son of a famous hockey player.
Yeah.
Growing up in Winnipeg, wanting to be a rock star, wanting to be a wrestler. I kind of think that could be quite interesting. Watching him forming his high school bands, and his dad having a little bit of fame and that kind of thing.
Young Triple H, young Paul.
Young Paul.
Young Taker.
I don't think that would be that interesting.
No, it wouldn't.
Young Paul would just be Triple H watching tapes of wrestling.
I want to do that. I want to wrestle.
Young Undertaker would just be walking around with his guns and his knives.
That sounds exciting. It sounds like Narcos or something. Yeah, I don't know if there's any modern day...
Singing in the shower.
Like, because 20 years ago when you were watching The Rock, like, in WWE, would you imagine there would one day be a show exactly... It's insane to you, would you, right? So it's like in today's world, in the past, I don't know, 10 to 15 years, or maybe 10 onward, out of the new crop, one day, someone's going to be huge, like one of these guys. Someone. Is it Roman? Is he going to be doing those acting chops in movies more?
Yeah, I'd assume Roman.
Maybe young Roman.
I can't see Roman being quite as diverse, maybe, as some of the others, but I definitely see him going to Hollywood within 5 years, probably.
Yeah, I like I know we're going off on Young Rock again, but I like seeing people pretend to be the wrestlers. Like someone who's pretending to be Macho Man and Iron Sheik and Andre. Like, it's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting to me, and I want to see, like, more of that. So thinking of, like, modern day, like young Ric Flair. See in the chat here, someone's like, hey, young Ric Flair would be good. That would be not a PG-13
I think
show.
that's the problem with so many of these wrestlers is if you're going to have WWE involvement at all, I don't want it.
Right, exactly.
It was my main problem with Bohemian Rhapsody, the film, which did really well. I kind of thought it was shit. I really like Queen. I thought Rami Malek's performance was great. Hated the story. I'm like, there are slight allusions to the fact Freddie did a bit of drugs and slept around a bit. But come on, I want you're a fucking rock star. It's during like the height of the like AIDS pandemic and he's sleeping around and shit. And you're like, come on, I want it to be gritty and dirty. And if you're going to do a young Ric Flair, I don't want to just be seeing him doing an hour Broadway and then having a beer at the bar and going, woo, and then just assuming things got wild. Like, I want to see it.
You're right. In the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like, there was a scene of like, all right, I get to see some Freddie Mercury parties. And then he's like, I'm having a party. And then next morning.
It's like there's a little bit of white powder on a glass table and a guy, like a young guy walking around in his underwear.
Like,
and you're like, all right, okay.
Like, this guy's an epic partier, and this is what the movie showed me of his parties. Like, even in the Doors movie, Morrison's doing peyote and shit. You're like, yeah. I was robbed of that in that movie. I completely agree. I think Remy Malek was great, but like, where was the substance?
Yeah, it was lazy. There was none. There was none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. Is WWE not really hands-on in this Young Rock? Maybe because it feels.
Well,
different.
I assume that. No, I assume this is the Rock's company. I'd imagine $7, whatever it's called. But no, I'm just thinking if you were to do like a Ric Flair one or whatever, just get WWE away from it.
Because this one's like he uses the terminology. He's really pushing to get the wrestling like words
lingo over. Yeah,
that's definitely. So it's going to be public knowledge now. Everyone get ready. Your non-wrestling friends are going to be like, oh, you trying to get the gimmick over there, brother? And it's like, you don't even. Yeah, I probably will watch some more of Young Rock just to see more people dress up as wrestlers.
When's the next one?
Probably
tonight.
Next week.
Is
it?
It's
probably this week. Yeah, it's probably out or whatever. So there's more of us talking about The Rock. We smoked one before watching AEW last night, and then you sat down and you said to me, "Have you ever gone a week in your life without thinking of The Rock?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's a strange question." Friend.
I think this about so many things. I think it about certain songs. Like, has a week ever gone by where Journey, Don't Stop Believing, like, hasn't cropped up in some form one way or the other? And I think that about The Rock. I'm pretty sure every week, if you're a wrestling fan, maybe not even if you're a wrestling fan, at some point during the week, The Rock's come in your mind. Whether it be like a previous match he had, whether it be Young Rock coming out, a new movie. Isn't that fucked?
You always think about The Rock.
I'm just thinking general. I think there's like, we watch wrestling, Eddie Guerrero every week. Eddie Guerrero's referenced, and you think, for how long have I thought about Eddie Guerrero? Maybe once a week. It's weird, right?
Wow, they've become pop culture icons and embedded in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about The Rock daily.
Daily.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Daly's place here for some AEW. Now, they don't have The Rock, but they got The Big Show, which is crazy. They kind of didn't knock it over our heads tonight.
I think that was deliberate because this was taped, so he wasn't, unless they like were going to tape a send-in video, which wouldn't have the same impact.
Right.
I kind of think that's why they pretty much just said, Paul White signed, he's going to be on commentary with Tony Schiavone for this new show. Yeah. That was the extent tonight, but I am expecting stuff next week.
You're expecting Big Show to show up next week?
Or Shaq's wrestling.
The large event.
Yeah.
I think he's going to show up and interact with Shaq.
I'd have him call the match. I'd have him join. Be like, I need to try out my commentary chops because I've got this new job. Quite interested in this match. I know both guys pretty well.
Yeah.
I'd do it there and maybe even just set up like a stare down or something at the end.
Big Show wanted the WrestleMania match with Shaq, but got one with Cody, and now Cody's fighting Shaq.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? So yeah, he should call the match.
Technically, he main evented WrestleMania last year as well. So.
Who?
Big Show.
How did he main event?
Drew won. He came out after and was like, I want a match. And they had a match right after and they showed it on Raw.
That was weird.
But it was, so, yeah, big get. WrestleMania main eventer. Oh. The Big Show is now All Elite.
Paul White is All Elite. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. People know who he is, so it's kind of a big deal considering it's just another name that they have on there.
I think I've respected the way AEW have used their legends, and I kind of get it. If you're flicking through channels and you see the Big Show, he's someone people recognize, but then people might recognize, oh, this isn't WWE, this looks different.
Yeah.
If they use them correctly, I've got no problem with some of these guys coming in, as long as they add some sort of value.
Yeah, I hope he does good. I hope he helps the younger talent.
Yeah.
Helps people and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people want to see him, like, we talked about, like, oh, let him fight, like, Wardlow or... I'm imagining, though, like, fighting, like, some of the smaller guys. Marco versus Big Show. Marco's tweeting.
We're bound to have Marco and Big Show tag at some point.
Oh,
yeah.
Or
like, or a mixed tag like Riho and Big Show.
Riho and Marco Stunt versus Big Show and Nyla Rose.
Wow.
That's what I want to see.
Wow.
It's Big Show's here, Sting's here, Jericho's here. It feels like WCW. It's literally WCW. Tony's here, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's WCW.
I feel that it feels like WCW done right, though. it's got like the blueprints of WCW,
Yeah.
but then, you know, organization, actual management, like all these kind of things that make it work. So yeah, sure, we are bringing old guys, but let's not have them like just murder the cruiserweights and take up an hour of the main event and that kind of thing.
Like Big Show's not coming in, chokeslamming Kenny and winning the title.
I doubt it. Who knows? He might.
No.
Maybe he'll break through the ring during the barbed wire death match and chokeslam Kenny and.
Sounds wild.
Yeah.
It's very This episode felt like WCW to me, but you're right in some good ways and some bad ways. But let's go into it. AEW Dynamite from February 24, 2021. We start off with John Moxley, who comes out in his it's his Eddie Kingston pants essentially. He's kind of like Eddie. I like those pants. Where do you get them? And then now wears his own.
Mox does kind of feel like he just has a wardrobe of random shit, and he's like, wearing this today to wrestle.
Yeah.
And then another day he'll turn up in proper wrestling shorts and boots. Yeah. And then he's, today will be Dean Ambrose.
He's got to wear proper gear for that barbed wire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Proper coverage of legs and body parts because it's exploding. John Moxley's going up against Ryan Nemeth, or Lil Ziggler, if you will, Baby Ziggler. And Moxley one-on-one with Nemeth, and right away he attacks him and hits this backdrop suplex. We saw a Doomsday through the table last night on NXT, and we see Moxley hitting the backdrop Doomsday here, the Saito. Nemeth tries to come back with a few moves like shoulder block into the corner, but Moxley keeps stopping him at every turn. But then Ryan hits a Ziggler-esque drop kick. Don't call him Baby Ziggler. He hits that, but Moxley gets up, locks him in like a front guillotine gravat type thing, hooks the butterfly, lifts him up for the paradigm shift, or the Death Rider, if you will, and kills him with this move and pins him just like that. John Moxley wins the match.
Fun squash. I think I loved how Nemeth sold the slap right at the beginning, and you just knew he was in trouble from them, the look of fear in his eyes. I like the idea of doing actually putting Nemeth to sleep before hitting the Death Rider, the paradigm shift. It made it look just way more deadly. I thought he sold it really well. Yeah, I thought Nemeth was actually quite a good body to just kill in this match and made Moxley look great.
Yeah, and what's the difference? The paradigm shift, like the deep double arm?
It's the same move.
It's kind of the same?
It's exactly the same. It's just different name. Death Rider in New Japan.
Because the one he hit on Kenny looks different than the one he hit tonight.
It's the same. It just depends who's selling it.
It's like he lifts. Sometimes he lifts you up and then drops.
Yeah.
You. It looks sick. Either way, it looks like a great move. After this match, Moxley grabs a microphone and starts to cut a promo here. He's talking about taking back the hill here in AEW. What images come to your mind when you hear the words exploding barbed wire death match? I think of fire, blood, agony, torture, or vintage Japanese wrestling magazines. He says, it's disgusting, it's revolting, and I'm always after this sick thrill. It makes me feel. I like to be close to the flame. I'm addicted to this. That's my addiction. All the blood, sweat, and tears that I pour out. This is my soul. I do this every night, and I'll continue to do this every night. Everyone who knows me, everyone all around the world on this earth watching, you will all know that when it's all said and done, I gave you everything I had. And if it ends at Revolution, live on pay-per-view, well, it seems like a hell of a way to go out.
I love his promo. I think he's so good. He sounds so real. He really just hypes you up for whatever feud he's in. This last line, I didn't quite know how to read it. I didn't know whether it was just another way of saying, and if you're going to beat me, you're going to need to kill me.
Yes.
Or if he was saying, if it was kind of like a retirement sort of thing.
Right.
He's like, hey, and if I lose in this brawl, it's a great way to go out. I don't sense them pushing a retirement angle at all. But yeah, just an interesting choice of words there at the end. But I love his promo. I think he's so good.
Me too. It's crazy, and I'll say it every time. It's like Dean Ambrose was a completely different person. This guy's promo skills are just amazing. Sells you on anything. Kenny Omega, the heel, challenged Mox, the babyface, to this crazy gimmick match. So it's kind of a little backwards. But Mox is like, not scared is what you needed him to do. And here he's like, yeah, this is my shit. This is, if you know me, I'm crazy and I'm into this disgusting matches and barbed wire. That's my avenue. So it's like Kenny is like, is stepping to him like. Story kayfabe wise, Kenny's like, yeah, I know you're the crazy guy, so I'll beat you in your own thing again. Like we'll take it to the next level from the match that they've had before. So Moxley now is like, yeah, you're gonna have to kill me because this is how I'm going out. I'm not letting you beat me in this. So you're gonna have to destroy me. He could get completely fucked up, and that's how he loses, and then he takes some time off. You know, he's probably having a kid soon. Like, we'll probably need some time off, I would imagine, but. This made me intrigued into seeing this match. The match itself sells itself, but his promo work makes you want to watch his matches.
I think it's the creativity we know both these guys have that makes me like. I'm not a deathmatch guy, but also just the idea of having this on a major like North American promotion is bizarre.
Crazy.
And the fact that it's these two really creative wrestlers involved makes me excited. I do kind of feel, as you said, it was a bit backwards. Tony Khan was teasing last week. He's got a great Valentine's gift for Kenny. It kind of would have made more sense if the Valentine's gift was, you're going to be in an exploding barbed wire death match, mate. You know, rather than being like, your Valentine's gift is the match that you knew was going to happen.
I think the Valentine's was he agreed to it. He's like, I'm not sanctioning that. And then he like thought on it and was like, okay. All right.
So I thought it was a bit backwards, but I'm really looking forward to the match. I think both guys have built it up really well. And while on the subject of Jon Moxley, he's got another little match this week.
It's true. Yeah, he's
this Friday.
Yeah, Bloodsport.
No, New Japan Strong.
He just had Bloodsport.
He just had Bloodsport, and he's defending the US title against Kenta on Friday in New Japan Strong. Didn't mention it at all this week, but yeah, only it's tomorrow now. So quite looking forward to that. That's one I will check out. But do you have any theories at all? Do you think this is just to get it off him? Do you think he's dropping it?
I think he should. Just realistically, like you're doing a lot, and there hasn't been title defenses. New Japan's just been using the briefcases story, and it's been kind of lame. So I think it's just right that this happens. Have Kenny come out and cost him the title.
Yeah,
like realistically, and then that'll get my blood flowing because you know Kenny's in a New Japan ring again for 1 second or another. But yeah, I think he needs to drop it to Kenta.
I think it's interesting that this has been taped a while ago and no spoilers have leaked. Yeah, I believe. I might be wrong. I believe end of last year. Like it's been in the can for a while.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah. I kind of think Mox should win. I think New Japan have fucking loads of titles, and it's the US title. Why not have it in the US on a big name like Jon Moxley? As long as New Japan are happy with the deal and AEW are happy with him wrestling there every now and then, why would you not want to lock him up? I felt the same with Kenny retaining the AAA. It's like, okay, you might not be able to get him for every show, but every couple of months you can get that big Kenny bump or that big Mox bump. But I think Kenta's been pretty good as well and will be a worthy champion. But
okay, I predict Kenny comes out and costs him the title. Therefore, you push this U.S. title with you have so many of the young talent in those shows, right? The New Japan American side shows. So it makes sense to have someone who's not just a casual. I think for that purpose of. That show seems... For Strong, have it their heavyweight title, essentially. Yeah, it's like that show just has... You watch it and the wrestling's good, but it's like it needs something. So maybe that's a little injection that it can get there. But,
yeah.
If the Kenny's the reason why he loses, it's him helping Kenta, who clearly didn't even want Kenny's help or friendship. And it's still pushing the tease of what's going on, the doors open, essentially. So... but that would be cool. I'm interested in seeing that match. I'll definitely watch it. We'll talk about it next week for sure. So Moxley's a busy guy, but I like this promo starting off this episode. We go to Lance Archer. Oh, sorry. Actually, there is a video for this barbed wire death match, and I will say, great video. Yeah, going right back from Moxley's debut at Double or Nothing in 2019, just showing everything that great paradigm shift through the glass table, that spot, all their feud. Was this Imagine Dragons? It sounded like them. I don't like them very much. Or just, but... I used to, and then just got played to
death.
I think so. I couldn't tell what it was, but it
I do
worked.
feel their music often works quite well in wrestling promos
so.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, like not songs that you might not like necessarily listen to all the time do work well with wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely things that work well. I thought it was good. If this is the video they aired for it, good stuff. Lance Archer and Ray Phoenix are backstage being interviewed by, I couldn't even catch his name. It was not Alex Marvez, but he was already 10 times better than Alex Marvez. He is interviewing these people, Lance and Ray, because they have the main event tonight, 1-on-1, and the winner enters the ladder match at Revolution. And Lance Archer just kind of blows this off and says, like, hey, there's actually no reason for me to qualify. Like, you should just put me in the match, because look at me and look at him. Like, come on. I'm going to steamroll this guy. Let's just not do this and give me the spot. Ray Phoenix takes exception to this and speaks to the interviewer here and basically asks him to translate. So he speaks in Spanish, and then Lance is like, tell me what he said. Tell me what he said. Well, he said, you're the worst. You're just not good. It's like, all right. So then they fight, and it's really weird. I don't know what this was, but they're like kind of fighting in the back area, and then they just like walk off and it cuts away.
It kind of felt like, I don't know if this was the same for you, but it was definitely for me. When you're at high school and you'd have a drama class, whatever the scene is, the boys will want to have a fight. So it felt like that. It felt like really bad dialogue, badly acted, and it's like, can we just skip ahead and stop throwing each other into shit and punching each other? I quite like both these guys, but this just felt really off. It felt kind of badly shot, badly directed, bad lines, bad fake fighting. Like the brawl looked really fake, I thought. Yeah, on paper I was quite looking forward to this match, but unfortunately this didn't really do it for me.
No, it was really weird.
It's cool seeing Phoenix do a promo in Spanish though. Like, I've got no problem with talent speaking in their native tongue and just having it translated, but it was weird.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely okay with that. Sometimes you don't even need to translate. Sometimes I know he could probably speak. I like Io Shirai will always talk like in Japanese and then kind of do a quick summary in English, and it kind of helps. It like makes the circle like a full package, and I feel like that's something to be done. But the issue was just this acting here was really weird. Yeah, it felt really off.
Rishi in the Twitch chat says it was the Spanish language commentator Alex Abrahantes. He and Dasha do the Dynamite pre-show.
Oh, okay. So it's another Alex.
Yes.
Alex Marvez?
All the Alexes.
All right. Nice. More of him, because I just don't like Alex Marvez that all too much. We see the Young Bucks earlier today, and they are with their parents. If you remember last week, we saw they were in the crowd. Papa Buck, Mama Buck, and they're like, look at these trucks with the Young Bucks face on it. Like the WWE style trucks, AEW trucks, but with the Young Bucks on each one. And they're like, oh, look at this. This is great. To be fair, I watched BTE a little bit this week, and they did this on the show, like in legit. They're like, oh, look at these trucks. So the parents are like pretty like proud that they get to see their kid's face on a truck. So they kind of did it here as well. And Papa Buck's mom's taking photos of the Bucks with the dad doing their pose and stuff like that. And you just knew. We watch wrestling.
We've seen a wrestling dad 2 weeks in a row. Someone's gonna fuck him up.
Wrestling dads, no dads are safe in wrestling. Essentially, anytime a dad's brought into like the storyline, it's bad things happen.
Bad things happen. Keep your folks at home,
John
people.
Cena's dad got slapped by Edge, and like all the other
Orton
stuff.
beat him up a bunch. Mrs. Dad.
Mrs. Dad, yeah. Mrs. Dad. I mean, Ric Flair recently, he's been doing.
Tori Wilson's dad.
Tori Wilson
died.
Yeah. So, dads, don't bring your dads around. Mark Miro says, don't bring your wife around.
Yeah.
Well, I said, don't bring your dads around wrestling. Definitely. We'll see what happens with the Bucks and their dad later. The Varsity Blondes have a tag team match against Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Brian Cage. We have Pillman early on hitting this like wrecking ball dropkick, sending Cage to the outside, but then Cage power bombs him into the post, and then he like falls like onto the steps. I don't know how he wasn't bleeding from this, but this spot looked crazy. And then he puts him back into the ring and does like the pump up curling of into the follow slam. Like he's using the guy
Bicep curls.
to do curls, like just crazy. And then Griff though gets the hot tag in, and he's on fire. He's doing the corner splashes, and then this crazy dive to the outside, like jumping over the ring, like clearing the ring, kind of like Roman Reigns.
It looked like he was just going to keep flying. It looked like he was going to go into the crowd unless he hit someone.
Yeah, he did. He went flying. They're very impressive here. And then there's springboard clothesline back into the ring from Pillman here, but there's a power bomb, like drop kick combo on Ricky Starks, which you thought the Varsity Blondes could get like an opportunity to win this match. So it's like one of the guys power bombs and the other missile drop kicks Starks at the same time for a near fall. But it's Cage who clears the ring of Griff, picks up Pillman Jr. and hits him with the drill claw, or as I call the drill white claw, and Brian Cage and Ricky Starks win this match.
I really enjoyed this. I thought this really showcased the Varsity Blondes well. I really liked Griff Garrison's hot tag. I think this is a team that in a few years could be really quite something if they don't split them up. I thought everyone managed to get their shit in. Everyone looked good. Pillman getting in his springboard clothesline. I think that's his shit.
That's his move.
Just that. But yeah, I thought this was great fun, and I can't say I was particularly excited when I saw this on paper, but I really enjoyed this tag.
Yeah, I thought it did what it needs to do. It even showed off Griff and Pillman a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of really liked that. I thought Griff looked the most impressive he's ever looked.
And again, like, these didn't lose anything in a loss.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, it's, we saw that these guys can go. It put them over in defeat. I thought this was pretty good.
After the match, they look like they're standing tall here, Team Taz. And Taz is on commentary for this match, but he didn't really have any Tazisms for me. You either listen to Dark for that, or watch Dark for your Taz.
Tazisms.
Yeah, or listen to John Cena talk about them. But the lights go out. There's a video. It's like one of the Darby Allin black and white videos, but it's a car dragging the body in the body bag. And we see the glove. It looks like Sting is driving the body bag of Darby Allin. It's a quick little video, and then you see Darby get out of the bag, and he smiles, he grins.
He never smiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, they got something planned.
Yeah. Out of all the stuff Darby has ever done, this was the best one, I think, because it's just quick. It had the Sting's glove. He was driving.
Yeah.
And like, to the point. There was no like no him talking. Maybe that's why. Usually he like, I hate my life. This one's just like the music, like cowboy. It was like Fear and Loathing or esque.
It was more of an entrance rather than look, I can jump off a bridge and not die. It felt it had a purpose to it.
Well, the lights come back on. Sting's music hits. It's snowing in Florida. Sting comes out through the tunnel, dragging a body bag. Now Starks and Cage in the ring are like staring down up at this ramp. Sting comes out, and he opens up the body bag, not revealing Darby Allin, but revealing inside the body bag is Taz's son, Hook. Taz on commentary starts freaking out, drops the headset. As all this is going on, Starks and Cage are kind of like taken aback that their boy is tied up in a body bag. Sting uses his bat, points up to the rafters, revealing Darby Allin flying down on the zip line, just like Sting used to do in WCW. Darby flies in there with his skateboard, trying to kick Cage while he flies in.
Yeah, he kicks out a Cage, but he's still moving, so it doesn't get him at all.
Lands on his feet, uses the skateboard as a weapon to take out Ricky Starks here. Sting comes into the ring. Sting starts attacking Brian Cage. They're going at it. It's pandemonium. Sting hits the Stinger's splash, then the Scorpion death drop. I'm freaking out. I'm loving it. It took weeks on weeks on weeks, but we finally got to this epic visual of Sting and Darby teaming up here. The Sting rub with Darby. Darby had been hanging in those rafters forever, and all of a sudden he flies in here, lands on his feet, and then unhooks and beats these guys up. I thought this was so ridiculous, but it reminds me why I love wrestling.
Yeah, I really liked it. I can certainly see some wrestling fans feeling uncomfortable with the Darby ziplining down. It's something that we don't really see a great deal since '99, and
Yeah.
I can totally appreciate if people get turned off by that.
Mhm.
Obviously done completely safely, and these stunts are done all the time these days, but it's just in the context of a wrestling ring can definitely make people feel uneasy. I thought it looked really fucking cool. I thought Sting looked pretty great in the moves he did. I think it's the right time. I don't think Sting should have done physicality right away. I think it's right you build it up. I feel this feud should have started 3 weeks later, perhaps, because it's definitely been dragging. The pay-per-view needed to come a couple of weeks ago, I
Right.
think. And especially
Yeah.
with the pay-per-view being put back, a week, 10 days or whatever it was. They've done everything there is to do. But I really enjoyed this. It feels like Sting maybe had a few cold beers with FTR after a taping the other week and being like, Taz's son pisses me off. How did you kidnap Marco
how'd you
so
kidnap that guy?
effectively? Because I've got this idea, if you guys are on board. Just what's with kidnapping and wrestling?
Yeah. Darby's probably got friends that know how to kidnap people. I'm joking, but I again, I thought this visual was nuts.
What's that? It's in The Simpsons where, is it Frank Grimes or Homer lures someone by leaving a trail,
Right.
and then catches them?
Yeah.
I can imagine that being with Hook, just a load of cookies or something. Oh, a cookie, and then he just crawls into a body bag, and yes, we got him. Zip him up, throw him in the truck.
I don't know enough about Hook to know what it would be to lure him. Like, if it was Ricky Starks, I'd be like, hey, look, here's a really nice, expensive shirt. And then he'd be like, oh, I want to go find that. Cage would be like, hey, you got any, I don't even know what Cage would lure without being offensive. I really like this. I enjoyed the match with Ricky Starks and Cage against the Varsity Blondes. I thought it did a good job of helping everyone in that match, in that sense. And then it went into this angle, and I really love this visual of Darby flying in there, and then he has the skateboard. It brought me back. It definitely instantly gave me throwbacks to Sting doing it all those times, and I just was like, man, I like wrestling personally for the in-ring matches and the quality and the storytelling and all that stuff, but once in a while, this shit gets me.
You need a bit of spectacle, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ginger Ninja Dan just corrected me on my reference. It's James Woods in
James
Family
Woods.
Guy.
Ooh,
Yes,
a peanut.
exactly.
Ooh, peanut. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. James Woods.
A piece of candy.
Yeah, a piece of candy. Yeah, that's right. So overall, I'm excited. Sting got physical.
Yeah.
He did the Scorpion Death Drop. He did the Stinger Splash.
So all you want if all I need to know is that you can do a Stinger Splash, the Scorpion Death Drop, and the Scorpion Death Lock. If you can do those three things, I mean, that's all I've known Sting to do anyway all these years. So I'm fine. If you can hit those three things, throw in a few steel chairs, a bit of Derby nonsense, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for this match. It's gonna be wild. Revolution's gonna be a hardcore pay-per-view with this
It is,
fight
yeah.
and then
A ladder match,
Yeah.
an exploding barbed wire death match.
Jeez, this is wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I loved this. I don't know why. I can't even tell you why. Honestly, I just did. I just enjoyed Sting getting physical, doing the thing. There's also the little things. He does the Stinger Splash on Cage, who's obviously a lot bigger than Sting. And Cage is selling this, and Sting blocks his leg so that he drops down and then puts him in the position for the reverse DDT. So it's the little things here. It's not just Cage oh, let me get in position for it. It was Sting no, I'm gonna chop.
Been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Sting knows what he's
He
doing.
knows what he's doing. I'm telling you. Can't wait for that young Sting show. Darby is young Sting. Is Sting and Darby and his dad Sting. Is what this. I love this. Can't wait to see the match. We go from that to Tony Schiavone backstage. It's a little segment that was pre-taped with Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford, and Miro. They were really upset from the wedding and how Charles and Chucky and Orange Cassidy, they got involved. I'm pretty sure he calls them Wookie Xanax? I don't know what he called. I didn't even want to rewind. I'm never rewinding a Miro.
I
Kip
tune
segment.
out, to be honest.
I'm
Sorry.
You'll never hear me say it. And I had to rewind this Kip Sabian segment. Not happening. So I don't know what he what he said here, but he calls Chucky something mean, and basically shits on Chucky T and says, "You know what, Chucky? I see that you're doing these things because you're unhappy," says Miro. "So why don't you come home? You can come back. Be happy. Be with me. Come back to me. Be a man. Be a man."
Yeah, Miro's saying that he actually likes Charles. He was
Yeah.
like, when we had Charles the Butler, really nice guy, and I like him and I want him back.
It's like, I don't want to hang out with Kip and Penelope. I need another. You're more fun. I want you. So come back. While this is happening, Tony is handed a Valentine's card, and he's like, "Someone just gave this to me." And Miro's like, "What does it say?" It says, "Will you wrestle us at Revolution? Yes, no, maybe." And he's like,
XOXO.
yeah. He's like, it's so stupid with the childish games. Be a man up. So it is announced that at Revolution, it's Orange Cassidy, Chucky T versus Miro and Kip.
Can't wait.
I feel like
These guys, these guys need to have like a 90s All Japan style heavyweight tag match. If they can do that, you might turn me round. If it's anything lower than that, I fucking hate this story. I don't want to see these guys wrestle. I don't care.
Orange Cassidy and Chucky are going to beat them, and then Miro's going to split from Kip. I think
I need that. I need that split to happen as soon as possible.
poor Kip, because he had the tag team partner before.
He's got Penelope Ford. I'm never saying poor Kip in my life.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Just I don't want to watch you. Sorry.
I just don't want to watch him wrestle.
No.
Like, wrestle talk. Something's just not working. And then, I don't know if he's dragging Miro down or Miro's dragging him down.
I think Miro's dragging himself down.
Yeah, I hate all of this.
Yeah.
I hate this whole character. They moved away from the gaming stuff because they realized that wasn't working, but I guarantee they'll go back to it. I don't know. I haven't liked anything these guys are doing. We go to our next match, and we go from Kip Sabian and Miro talking about yes, no, maybe so, Valentine's, to a man dressed as a dragon. No, not Luchasaurus. That is a different person. Here is a dragon man. Oh, wait, no. It's Brandon Cutler, PWG icon.
Best match ever
We talked about him.
has had a Brandon Cutler match.
A best
on it.
match ever show that we have done has now officially had a Brandon Cutler match in it, because the Cutler Bros versus the Bucks versus Generico in London was a match that Martin Bushby selected for us to talk about last week.
Great match as well.
Great match. Highly recommend. So Brandon Cutler, here dressed as a dragon.
Yeah.
He likes Dungeons and Dragons. That's his gimmick.
Gotcha.
And they do like Twitch streams where they play.
Yes.
I think. Crazy.
Yeah, he had that whole thing on BTE recently with Luchasaurus, didn't he? Where they're looking at dragons and dinosaurs and things.
I don't like BT a whole lot lately. That for me was really funny. It's like, why are these grown men, especially one dressed as a fucking dinosaur,
Yeah.
just hanging? It's weird. Also, it was a drive-through dinosaur exhibit because it's COVID. So they're just like standing. I don't know.
Very odd.
It was weird. So Brandon Cutler comes out, and this match is happening because he came out to help save the Bucks and got body slammed, got just checked by Hager last week. So this match was made official for tonight, and it's Cutler defending the Bucks' honor essentially. So Hager versus Cutler, and we see just Hager just beating the hell out of him. He hits like a wheelbarrow suplex, like a snowplex, and then another one, but deadlifts him. And to be fair, Cutler is no small guy. He's really tall, actually. He might be even taller than Hager, standing next to him here. But Hager's just a whole lot bigger than him. Then Hager hits the Hager bomb, which is like the Vader bomb in the corner there. But Cutler comes back. I swear he hits a tope suicida, knocks Hager to the outside, gets back in the ring, runs the ropes and hits another tope, but it's a Conhilo hitting Hager. He goes back into the ring to hit some sort of springboard, but gets caught in the air into the side slam, the move Hager hit him with last week. It's like side slam buster type move. And then a huge lariat from Hager, putting down the Dungeons and Dragons, and it's over.
I thought that clothesline looked great at the end. Just turned Cutler inside out. I found this quite an entertaining squash. I'm never going to say Hager's one of my favorites, but I definitely think the presentation of him in AEW has been so much better. And I like how he doesn't wrestle every week, but you have him come out once in a while to just destroy someone, to remind you that he is someone that if they need to put in a mid to like higher card match every now and then, he can.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed this again.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with that. It helped kind of get Hager over. It gave Brandon Cutler some time to shine.
Good for him being on Dynamite.
Yeah,
Getting his
exactly.
entrance on Dynamite
Yeah,
as
he
well.
had an entrance.
Because he got cut the other week, didn't he? There was something, he was meant to be in a tag
Right.
match and he got pulled from it.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah. He got to show off his dragon mask on TV. So,
You know-
good for him.
You know JR loves that dragon mask.
Oh, yeah.
Saw Brandon Cutler come out. Like, by God. After the match, Hager decides it wasn't enough and beats down on Cutler. The Inner Circle come in. They beat down on Cutler. And the Young Bucks come down for the save. They run in, but it seems like the Inner Circle kind of disperse and kind of disappear. And the Titantron turns on. And it's MJF and Chris Jericho. Jericho looks like old school, like 2003 Jericho with this shirt and the ponytail. No shirt, and then a button-up shirt that's not buttoned up. Like it's like a shiny,
Flashy green. Were there fish on it or something?
Silk, teal, silk, like colors and turquoise colors with like feathers, golden feathers all over. This shirt was amazing.
This summer, you know, I'm so looking forward to this summer. I'm going to rock some of the most ridiculous fashion. If it's hot, fuck it. This is going to be me.
Someone find us this shirt.
Yeah.
Whoever finds the shirts for me. Someone always, whenever I ask, where did this guy get this shirt? Someone's always telling us. So where did Jericho get, this is probably an expensive shirt.
Oh, of course it is.
It
Yeah.
looked just like the one. I'm thinking like, here comes the Pain era. Like he used to wear this.
He used to come out in like the sequin shirts, didn't he? Yeah.
It was very similar. And with his ponytail here, he looked good. But MJF dressed up with his scarf, of course. And MJF and Jericho say, hey, what's going on, Young Bucks? Does this belong to you? Because we found this. And it's their dad, Papa Buck, but he's covered in blood. They beat him up. They say, hey, he loves these trucks. Why don't you get a little closer there, Pop? And they throw him into the truck with the image of the Bucks, so the blood goes all over it. And then MJF goes, well, we don't give Nick all the fun. He's a fair dad. He doesn't play favorites. You gotta support your other son too. So then they throw him into the other side of the truck, and the blood's all over it, just holding him dead. He's like lifeless. He's like kind of playing dead essentially, and covered in this fake blood. And then they like drop him down, and then they run because they know the Bucks are coming after them. They get in this like SUV, and MJF's like out the top.
Yeah. Both hanging out the windows,
Yeah.
speeding off.
And they go woo and like drive off, and they drive off out of the parking lot as the Young Bucks chase them off on foot, and the Bucks are just like shook by this. They run to go check on their dad. It cuts to commentary, and JR's just like, I am appalled. I remember how I said this episode reminded me of WCW. This right, not only Sting and his son flying in with the whole thing, but now this.
The
too.
drive off was very WCW, and
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I found this hilarious, though. I don't know if that was the intent. Just Papa Buck can't act, unfortunately, and that fake blood looked awful. It was funny. I was entertained. I don't know if that's what they were going for, like the humor. I don't know if they were trying to, because like if you think about it, they just beat up their dad. Like, they should be really mad, and I shouldn't really be laughing at it, but it was funny.
It was funny,
Yeah.
especially them driving off, like being dickheads here, like screaming and chanting. MJF being such a bastard that you hate him. Like, he's so fantastic in it. Yeah, with him, what do you call it, the sunroof?
Yeah.
In the car, and he's like, ha ha, and they're driving, and they're going fast.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I was a bit worried.
Yeah, I was
for
like,
them.
yo, guys, be careful. I love this chase off scene. I wasn't too cool with the like, it looks pretty fake blood.
But
like,
it was also the dad just going like,
yeah, bless him, but
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be funny, but I found it funny. It felt so like 90s wrestling, 2000s wrestling, WCW, Nitro, chase off, driving off. I loved it. I shouldn't have, but I loved it. So they're hyping up this. Now it's a blood feud. Essentially, it went from 0 to 100. They are the challengers. They beat up the Bucks. That's one thing. But now they beat up their dad. Damn. So the Bucks versus Jericho and MJF for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
For the titles. Yeah, I'm interested.
With Papa Buck in the corner.
He's gonna come out.
He's going to be involved with the finish.
He's got to
sure.
come out for the finish.
Yeah.
And help them. He's like Ms. Dad.
Maybe he replaces Sammy Guevara in the Inner Circle.
Papa-
Swerve.
That, oh, it
You
was
said you were
fake
getting
blood.
WCW vibes. It was. I mean, it
The
was
mom
fake
does.
blood. Yeah.
MJF gets with their mom.
Book it.
JR is appalled. I'm so appalled. We go to a video package for the most anticipated wrestling match of the 21st century.
Oh yeah.
Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet
Mm-hmm.
versus Shaq and Jade.
Yes.
And it's a video here basically highlighting this feud with Jade saying like, hey Brandy, how convenient. You want to have a match with me and then you suddenly get pregnant, huh? And Red Velvet kind of taking the spot of Brandy in this match, and clips of Shaq and her playing ball again. We do, however, now see clips of her wrestling. So we haven't seen this yet. We haven't seen her actually wrestle. And there's like shots of her in a ring with Shaq like cheering her on.
She looks physically impressive,
Right.
and the stuff that I think they were showing her do like a military press and stuff like this. I think we haven't seen her wrestle at all, and I think they showed enough here where you go, oh yeah, this woman could dominate here.
Yeah. In the Twitch chat, Jinja Ninja Dan has found me Chris Jericho's shirt.
Wow. Oh, it's only $22.
AliExpress, $22.80.
Shall I-
It's on sale from $40.
Oh,
US.
I kind of like this color.
Wow. So if you're
Shall I just get it?
If you're interested, we'll tweet it out later. By the time you're listening.
Shall I
to
buy this? I shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. I imagine Jay.
But
White
I'm
would-
tempted.
It looks like Jay White because it's the feather. He always rocks
Yeah.
the feather. Good find there in the Twitch chat there, Dan. Thank you. So Jade and Shaq. It shows clips of this, and next it shows the whole story.
I appreciated this because they tried to actually make some sort of sense of the story. The story is still very, very like threadbare, but showing everything from kind of Jade's debut to Shaq's comments to Brandy pulling out to
Well, Cody doesn't.
to Red Velvet being involved and all that. I thought they tried to make some sense of the story here, and I appreciated it. And it was good to see Jade finally do some moves, even if in a video package.
I feel like we'll see that part of the video next week, like where they show her actually more in the ring and stuff like that. I'm interested in this more because Big Show is with the company, but I can't say I'm too interested in this match, realistically.
I will, by the time the entrances come, I'll be like, all right, let's see what we're actually getting here. Did you know Red Velvet has the blood of the fire?
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know, that's what she told me.
In the video?
In the video. But the bit that made me laugh is... So we watch this wrestling show every week called AEW Dynamite, where we're told that these are the best wrestlers in the world. We have rankings and all that. Cody is their guy, and you've got like Excalibur and all these other people kind of in this video package saying about like how good Cody is, and Shaq and Jade are big, but they're inexperienced. And then JR just goes, yeah, Cody and Red Velvet are good, but Shaq and Jade are big, so they're gonna win. So why the fuck do I watch wrestling if all it takes is someone big to walk in and win?
Vince.
I don't know, like, it's...
Such a Vince.
And I know this is just a line that JR's been given, so I'm not giving him shit here,
Right,
but it's just like, come on.
He does say that he thinks Shaq and Jada will win.
Yeah.
Just because he looks at
Zero experience, but they're big. They're big, and he played basketball 20 years ago, so
There was a line.
they're gonna win.
Because it cuts to between JR and Tony, like sit-down interviews about this, and I don't know which one says it, but they're like, don't get it twisted. Because Cody's on these like shows and he's doing media and all this other stuff, it looks like he's distracted, but Cody lives and breathes pro wrestling. Like, he knows more about it than anyone. And you know what? You hear Cody talk, and you kind of know that is true.
Completely.
He absorbs everything. Cody, you follow him on socials and stuff. His winding down and a night in with like himself is like having a drink, a cigar, and just watching old random wrestling. It's like what we do as fans. So Cody himself is still a fan, and like you hear him talk on commentary and stuff. he mentions everything. He mentions Dragon Gate. He mentions old NWA, like Jim Crockett, all that stuff. Like, he knows everything. So, it is true. I did like that little thing. It's like, hey, just because he's on TV and stuff, he's not distracted. He's taking this seriously. I don't know how seriously you take a match with Shaq, though, but I can't wait. The Big Show's got...
But he's big.
He's so big. But who's bigger? The Big Show.
Mm.
We go to Hangman Adam Page, who's going one-on-one against Isaiah Cassidy. Hangman's graphic here says, recently made new friends. Hangman's going up against Cassidy. Again, this was taped last week, so no Mark Quinn here, who's still not here, but Matt Hardy is there. And we didn't get recently, we haven't seen the TH2 entrance, but we got it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even in this match, but they're now the bounty hunters. For all it takes is $3,700, and they'll do anything you want.
Oh, yeah.
They're Matt Hardy's bounty hunters. Cassidy one-on-one against Hangman. Cassidy eats a boot after jumping off the top rope, sends him to the outside. Hangman hits his Pascata, like crossbody type cross thing to the outside there. Hits a clothesline on him over the barricade. Like, just, this is a Stan Hansen clothesline. He's against the barricade, and Hangman's just like, fuck you. Clotheslines him over and like into the crowd. Looks great. The ref is distracted by TH2, thus Matt Hardy tries to get involved and throws Hangman's shoulder first into the ring post. This is when the Dark Order come out, and they come to the defense here, and the ref decides, you know what, Matt Hardy? You are out of here. Sends him to the back, but TH2 are still there. But so is Silver and Reynolds, all ringside. Cassidy works the arm and the shoulder of Hangman, does this like slingshot arm attack into the ropes. There's then like all these types of pinning attempts, but Hangman gets up. The rolling elbow to Cassidy, but it's only a 2 count. Cassidy hits him with like this kick to the head and ends Enziguri's. Page comes back with a DVD. There's some great back and forth here. Was very impressed with Cassidy. There's a brain buster for a 2 count. Somehow Cassidy kicked out of that. Cassidy comes back with a flurry of all these crazy moves, and then a poison Rana spiking Page for a 2 count. Then a move I wouldn't expect to see from Cassidy. He's been working the arm and the shoulder, so he decides to go into this crazy cross arm breaker type move.
This was actually my favorite part of the match. There was some awesome flashy stuff, but this was Cassidy going for the pin, and he was doing it where he's pressing down on both arms, like really using his weight to try and get the pin.
Yeah.
And Hangman manages to lift the shoulder and lifts one of the arms, but in putting the arm up, Cassidy just grabbed it and transitioned right into the cross arm breaker. I thought it was such a, just a clever wrestling move to use and looked great. I was really impressed.
Really impressed. But Hangman somehow slips out of this. On commentary, Excalibur's like, yeah, Isaiah Cassidy doesn't usually go for these submission type moves that look, he's not experienced. He doesn't know what to do with his legs after Hangman's fiddling. He had it locked in great, but as soon as Hangman's trying to break it...
He was by the ropes, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
So Aubrey was... although he wasn't grabbing the rope, Aubrey's going... I think it was Aubrey... is going, no, his legs under the rope, his arms under the rope. So Cassidy keeps on positioning.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see the actual, technical rules of wrestling rather than the, oh, I'm grabbing the rope. Just, no, you're in the wrong position. Oh, fuck. And how a wrestler would reposition and stuff. I found it quite interesting to watch.
He gets Hangman in position for this double rope jump destroyer that we've seen him do before, but Hangman scouts it, stops the destroyer, stops the flip part, and then hits him with the dead eye, a move we haven't seen in quite a while. It's like the reverse inverted pile driver thing. Like you have the guy up for an Alabama slam, and then you drop to your knees and drop him on his head behind you. One of the coolest moves, honestly. And Hangman pins Cassidy in a sleeper hit of a match, I thought.
Yeah. I loved this match. I thought it was really good. I thought Isaiah Cassidy really, really shone here. He had quite a nice match against Jericho not too long ago, but I think this was a lot better. Hangman is just a star every time he comes out, putting on good matches. Cassidy, I thought, was great here. I can definitely see potential in the future for Cassidy, maybe as a single star.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him.
Yeah.
I've always said, Hangman is one of my favorite wrestlers, top to bottom, character, everything. He's got it going on. And then he comes in with the guy who's a young kid in a tag team that we kind of you look at and you go, their outfits, they're kind of, dorky. They've recently turned heel. So maybe there's like some room to improve there. This is room to improve. He was able to go out there and show everyone that he can do this.
It makes me, I'm sorry, Quen, but it makes me not want to see Private Party. I'd much rather see this guy mix it up with, Jungle Boy, MJF, Sammy, Darby.
Yeah.
Those guys in the same class of your young, early 20s futures of the company.
Yeah.
I can totally see as well in a sit-down interview 10 years' time with Cassidy looking back at old matches and just going, what the fuck was I wearing then? When you see The Rock in his Survivor Series debut in the baby blue, I can totally see Cassidy in a improved look being, what was I wearing?
No, this reminded me of Jungle Boy versus, is it Cash or Dax?
Yes, yeah,
completely. Ago. Yeah, it reminded me of that. I really enjoyed this match. I think it might have been my favorite match of the night, actually.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, like, over both shows as well. NXT didn't really have a match that was. There was the tag match, but it still was just okay. The parking lot no DQ thing was fun.
Yeah.
But I honestly think I enjoyed this more.
This is my kind of wrestling. I enjoyed this. I also love AEW does this a bunch. People not winning with the same finish every week. Mm-hmm. We just saw Hager win with a lariat, which we don't normally see him win with. Hangman, he's finished matches with the Deadeye before, but it's normally the buckshot. We see the buckshot. And Cody doing the same. He's won with figure fours. He's won with the crossroads, won with all different moves. The Cody cutter. I like it. It makes it feel less scripted when we got to have your finish. And maybe it's because when you've got a paying audience, your paying audience wants to see the finish, right? You want to see the buckshot lariat. With this being taped, we don't need to worry about giving the crowd what they want, and we can finish a match slightly differently.
I love the Deadeye.
I think it's a great move.
When we play in our 2K and stuff, they don't have we have a great downloaded Hangman, and they don't have that move, so they have the Dude Buster, which is kind of similar.
Yeah.
The Bastard Driver, essentially, it's kind of similar. We didn't mention that if you play, we play 2K19 sometimes on PS4, and we Twitch and stuff, but patron, friend of the show, BDELite, who also plays 2K, not only made us BDE Up Next championships that you can download, like the BDE title and the BDE tag titles, he then made a BDE Up Next arena that we could download, and we were like, dude, this is crazy. It's got like our logos on it, it says sponsored by White Claws and Backwoods, and we're like over the moon by this. He then makes a BDE Up Next clawed out stadium arena in 2K19 that you can all download. We gotta go get Brian to share this link of how people can find it.
Yeah, he's actually in the Twitch room right now saying shout out.
Oh my god, this like, I know for us, we talk about random shit on these podcasts, and like people begin to kind of know who we are. We're your friends. We always say we're your friends because you know more about us than like our family.
Oh yeah, way more.
And the fact that BDELite was like, yo, I'm gonna make it sponsored by White Claws and Backwoods, I was like, bro, you know me, my heart, bro. Like, you know me so well, and it looks crazy. You can fight in the daytime, at night. And
stuff. It looked awesome.
We got a Twitch again. Soon.
I want to rechristen BDELite. I heard he's in the chat right now, so let me know if this is cool. He's no longer BDELite. Right. He's now BDE Troy.
BDE
Troy.
BD.
Shortened to just Troy. How you doing, Troy? But yeah, they're awesome. Go check them out.
We should post some pictures of it too. It just looks so funny. He's made it like an actual like pay-per-view, like with a logo like Clawed, like White Claws Clawed out. It's like sold out WCW. Yeah. But a stadium, like a WrestleMania arena.
It's our all out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome. So if you ever, we'll play some Twitch video games soon.
Troit is in the chat saying fire, so I think he's happy with the new name.
No, I think he's saying he's inspired that we're talking about the arena. But great stuff. Hang out with us on 2K sometimes. So back to the show. Paige wins the match, and after the match, it's Matt Hardy who says, hey, Hangman, I wanted to give you the world, but you betrayed me. So now I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to hurt your new friends, the Dark Order. And Matt Hardy just comes out and attacks Alan Angels from the back and throws him off the stage through a table and then runs away.
Great table spot.
Was.
Just launching him, going flying through this thing.
Poor Alan Angels just got fucking thrown off this stage.
Wouldn't it make sense if you just had the Anna Jay injury as part of this angle?
You want Matt Hardy to attack Anna Jay?
No, but Anna Jay's taken out.
Right.
So you can
Right.
do something.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know. If someone's out for 6 to 8 months and they're in the faction that someone's saying, we're going to take someone out from your faction every week, I don't know. It kind of writes itself.
Matt needs...
but good bump from Alan Angels here.
Matt is like the manager type thing. He's got some people in his pocket, but he doesn't have any women's wrestlers yet. So maybe if he had someone...
to.
You know, maybe Jade could have done it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who does Matt Hardy... Lita will join All Elite Wrestling.
Lita, sure.
So the Dark Order chase off Hardy, but the damage was done. So Hangman versus Hardy, with all the big money on the line, the big money match at Revolution. While all this was happening, I was just in a gaze of John Silver's arms.
They're big.
They're so big. They're bigger than his head.
I'm trying my best, but I'm not there.
Like, they're giant. You gotta ask him what he does.
Oh,
what
yeah.
his tips are, because he's always clanging and banging on and stuff. Clearly, he is a little jacked ball of energy.
I can't say I'm massively into this match, but I do like Hangman Page a lot, so I think they'll pull off something quite entertaining at Revolution. I think this will surprise me a bit, but don't really want to see Matt Hardy in the position, but we'll see.
We go to Alex Marvez, who's at a like secret location, some like basement, I don't know, like welding.
He's a stalker. He just stalks Kenny Omega.
Kenny is there dressed like, I don't even know what he's dressed like, as a welder.
He's still wearing his white shirt, jeans, and boots from last week.
He's still
but
dressed
now
like...
he's got the welder. Remember when Kane came back and wore the like welding mask over his mask? He's essentially wearing that.
Well, we just talked about PWG best matches, and we talked about his match with Speedball Mike Bailey, where he uses the chainsaw and the goggles and everything. It's very similar. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but here. So Alex Marvez is like, hey, Kenny and Don, like, what are you doing? And there's guys in the back, like, working in some contraption of barbed wire. And Kenny's hammering away here, and Don says, we're making a Moxley extermination chamber, and then looks at the camera and kind of laughs because Elimination Chamber was this week. Kenny is saying that he's going to take all the credit in ending John Moxley. I'm going to make this thing, and it's going to be because of me. Everyone's going to remember it was me that did this. So I'm a little confused because Kenny looks ridiculous with this outfit on, but I think he does it on purpose. It's so strange because he seems like he's gone insane. Is that the story? Don has brainwashed him so much that Kenny is literally going nuts.
I think it's just they're building up how crazy this match is going to be.
Yeah.
So this to me is the equivalent of Undertaker building the casket for blanking.
Right.
But yeah.
Anyone. Yokozuna, was it maybe?
I think so, yeah. That's what I was getting from this. It's Kenny not being scared of the gimmick, but embracing the gimmick and upping the stakes. And yeah, he's losing his mind. He's coming up with something so deadly. I imagine he's making similar to that, what do they call it, the web?
Yeah.
Of barbed wire, but more fucked up.
Well, it's going to have exploding, like, they mentioned C4 or something. I don't fucking know what they're
landmines.
The thing, Undertakers used to build coffins and caskets. So that's like his job, essentially, was building caskets. That's where the name from. So Kenny would just be cleaning these barbed wire.
Maybe, yeah.
He's not the cleaner anymore. He's making these things.
I found this quite fun. Just building interest for that match. You're going like, what is he making?
Yeah,
what is
it
this
looks
going to be?
ridiculous.
I think Alex Marvez is terrible, but I prefer him. They're playing up the fact he's terrible now, so I kind of like it. And I like that he just keeps showing up and essentially stalking Kenny Omega. I find it quite a funny running gag that every week he's on the golf course, he's at this welding place, he's at his home, and it's just like, Marvez, what are you doing here? I do find it quite funny.
It's like Scooby-Doo or something. I don't know. It's like Kenny is so ridiculous. Kenny's my favorite, and he's great. And it's getting to the point where it's like, what is wrong with you recently? You're insane. I know you're the champ, but it's because you've gone crazy. Because Don is making you do ridiculous shit or something. But I love it and I hate it. Him with making this device. What are we going to see next week? Is he going to show off some of the stuff he's made, making more stuff? Moxley gonna be like, I saw you making stuff. I made some stuff.
You know what I'd be making? Like barbed wire proof, flame proof gear.
Yeah, that's what I'd be making.
Like a onesie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Moxley's gonna come out like in gear to block his skin. Like you should be wearing shirts because you don't want your skin. But then of course us as fans, we want to see the blood.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22. Safety versus showmanship.
Yeah.
But Kenny is Weldon.
He's Weldon.
The welder, Kenny Omega. A recap of the women's tournament, the Eliminator tournament that all comes down to Revolution, and some of the tournament. I know John Cena on Shot in the Dark has kind of covered some of this tournament, but you can watch the Japanese side on their YouTube, and then they aired like obviously the U.S. side here tonight, and we go into a match here for this side of the tournament, which is Britt Baker going up against Nyla Rose. And Britt Baker's playing this like chicken shit heel where she doesn't really want to wrestle. She gets body slammed like twice in the beginning of the match and just walks out, but then decides, okay, I'm coming back in. Goes back into the ring and with a distraction gets some offense here with like her signature hangman neck breaker on Nyla. She goes to get the glove to put it on for the lock job, but walks right into a choke slam. Reba, don't call her Reba, sorry, Rebel, gets into the ring, and I know I've said this, I feel like a broken record now. The ref is just cool with this. Just looks at her, and then looks way back at the match. It's like, no, your job is to make sure she's not in the ring, actually. And I've said this multiple times.
Oh, it's just Rebel. It's okay. It's okay.
The ref goes, who's this?
It's Rebel. She causes no threat.
Yeah. So there's Nyla who dumps her out of the ring, and then there's like inside cradles. There's a super kick from Baker, and eventually tries to go for this lockjaw. It looks like she's got it in, but not quite the mandible claw part, but the submission type hold of it. And
Nyla bounced off the exposed turnbuckle.
Right, okay, gotcha.
So, like, weakening her and being open for the lockjaw.
But it's not enough. She eventually breaks the hold, hits the Beast Bomb, the sit-out power bomb, Batista Bomb, but Baker kicks out. Nyla a little frustrated, but tends to keep her cool here. Picks up Baker again, hits her with a second Beast Bomb, and it's over. Rose beats Baker.
I thought this was a pretty good match. I think the women's division's definitely moving in the right direction. I think this tournament's been really good for it. Britt Baker put up a fight. This was actually a lot more physical than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be a lot more of Britt trying to run away, a lot more of Reba involvement. Sure, we had it, but it didn't take away from the match, and I thought they actually worked quite well together. And yeah, it taking two of these Beast Bombs to beat Britt, so Britt still looks pretty good coming out of this. I thought this was a pretty fun, competitive match.
Yeah, I didn't like it feels like every match tonight had people on the outside and like interference, and it's kind of getting overplayed here.
I don't think Reba's great either. She comes in, she looks a bit lost, and then even when she's taken out, she's not really selling. She's just like lying there.
I've talked about how I like Reba and I like Rebel and this character with Britt Baker, but I think it didn't work for me here tonight. I didn't really like this. It was when she started walking out, and then like they're always like flustered, and she's acting. Britt Baker's character, she always acts like such a badass bitch, right? That's what she's the role model. But I think tonight I'm just like I got over it. I'm done with it. I think. I was just really annoyed watching this match. I was like, it's definitely when Reba's just in the ring and the ref is just like, that's cool, that's fine. It's like, well, no, like there's rules to this, and we watch it and follow it, and it seems like they don't apply when this person's wrestling. So it's weird because every week I'm talking about this.
I was quite surprised to see Britt lose.
Yeah.
Because I thought she'd be the one to be taking the title from Shida.
That's true.
So we're getting, what is it, Thunder Rosa versus Riho in the other side. That's on Sunday on Bleacher Report.
Oh, yeah. Weird.
And then, is it the winner facing Nyla, or do we have another round? That'll be the semi.
Okay.
So probably Riho versus Nyla, I imagine, on the US side. And then we'll see who our Japanese women.
I don't mind Nyla. She's grown on me, and I think she's improved as well going forward.
She's been having consistently good matches for a while now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I think if it is her versus Rio, we've seen it before, but they've had great chemistry in the past, and I feel Nyla has definitely improved since they last fought. So that could be good. And Thunder Rosa, Nyla feels fresh as well. So I'm happy with either of those options.
We go to...
No Vicky.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if that's dropped cold or just Vicky wasn't available or what.
No
But
Vicky.
Mm.
Man, I miss her theme song. The remix of Excuse
Is that
Me.
it? I think that's it though, right? I don't miss much else.
There's this video of Griff Garrison like doing the like Harlem Shake, but to Vicky's theme. It's like this 5-10 second clip. It's so funny. FTR and Jurassic Express, a video package highlighting their match next week. It's going to be all of Jurassic Express, all 3 members against all 3 members of FTR. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? Yes, Tully is going to be wrestling. They mentioned that FTR cut off the horns of the dinosaur, but he's got a new mask and he's like, I'm back. You can't stop the beast. And then FTR took it to such lows by cutting the horns off and kidnapping Marco Stunt. And then they're like, yeah, what kind of stuff is that? That you say top guy shit? Well, you kidnap people. That's not really top guy shit.
I love how Marco's like, hey, look, I'm the weak link here. I'm fucking tiny. I'm not very good. And you keep picking on me. That's not really a top guy move.
Yeah, he's like, hey, like, stop this stupid shit here. So Tully will be there. They say, look, we didn't even know Tully. Before we even met him, we knew he was one of the best. We studied him. We appreciated him. And when we made it here, we get to team with him. It's a dream come true. But they say he hasn't wrestled since 1989. I don't know if is that right?
It's completely not right.
Yeah.
His last match was 07.
Yeah.
And yeah, like sporadic, like from 05 to 07, but wrestling consistently up until 1999. So
interesting.
It's 89 since he last wrestled for the WWF. Okay. So I think they're not counting indies. They're kind of WWEing it a bit. Aren't they?
Wrestling is a carny trade. Okay?
Yeah.
Once a carny, always a carny. That's what this world is.
Didn't want to mention that he wrestled for NWA Legends Fan Fest.
Who did he fight?
It was Dustin Rhodes.
Hey!
Was his last match.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're both here. We go to an announcement for Revolution. A match has been added to this. You know what I love? Tag Team Battle Royals.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting another.
We're getting another.
A casino tag team battle royal. They just say, oh, wait, they said casino.
Yeah.
But it's not at All In or Double or Nothing. It's just Revolution.
No, I think Casino Battle Royal is the staggered entrances. It's like the teams of 3 and then you have the wild card with the 21st.
Gotcha.
I think that's what it is. I don't see 21 teams
So
for this
7
one.
of the top tag teams here will fight and the winners get a tag title shot
Right.
in the future. But that's at the pay-per-view. I wonder if that'll be on like the pre-show or something.
I feel it could be pre-show.
Yeah. But like Dark Order, all your tag teams are
Yeah, it gets everyone on the show. I quite enjoyed the tag battle royal they did recently, so I'm okay with this.
Main event time. Ray Phoenix, Lance Archer, the winner added to the ladder match at Revolution. Oh wait, isn't Ray Phoenix is not in this ladder match at Revolution? And he has to...
No, this is to qualify.
Yeah, which is, you're right. You look at these two guys, you're like, maybe you should just both be in this match.
Yeah. How did Scorpio Sky get?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who hasn't been on Dynamite?
Penta hasn't been on Dynamite.
Forever.
Cody hasn't really done shit. Why is he in this match?
I mean, Cody's Cody. I will give a pass there. But
Weird.
Scorpio Sky, I guess he's got a great record on Dark. But for some reason, yeah, Phoenix and Archer have to qualify.
So, Phoenix versus Archer. There's some crazy moves from Phoenix. Of course, instantly there's crazy Hurricane Ranas and like a Tope Suicida just flying at Archer here. Archer gets thrown into the post at one point, or is it Archer that throws Phoenix into the post on the outside? Ray Phoenix gets clotheslined like inside out on the apron, does like a full rotation there, looks crazy. Archer on the outside does a running cannonball into the guardrail, squashing Phoenix here. And then in the ring, he's just fucking Ray up with all these moves. He does, he goes for his old school, but it's stopped. And Ray Phoenix does like a springboard diving foot stomp to Archer. Archer does finally hit the old school moonsault off like the top rope in the middle there, off the rope. There's then Phoenix who comes back with the tight rope running penalty kick to the face, then a flying roll through cutter there for a 2 count. JR with the call that wrestling Ray Phoenix is like wrestling a slinky, because he's always flying all over the place and going everywhere. Ray Phoenix and Archer are fighting on the top rope, and it's Phoenix who hits him with an avalanche Spanish fly. Looks insane, but it's only a 2 count. Both men are up. Phoenix runs the ropes. Archer runs at him with the pounce, period. And then a buckle bomb, a choke slam, but it's only a 2 count. Ray Phoenix tries to fight back, but he's caught. Archer hits him with the blackout, and Lance Archer beats Ray Phoenix and advances to this ladder match at Revolution.
Really fun match, I thought. Archer, I wasn't convinced when he turned babyface. It seemed a bit of a weird move, but he's actually improved for me since doing that. I think he's been having some really fun matches in these main events recently. And Phoenix, just such a great guy to kind of go with, because Archer's obviously a big guy. It's that David Goliath story, but Archer can kind of fly as well if he needs to. So having the best flyer in the world to go against, I thought was a lot of fun. I loved the moment where Ray leapt over Jake Roberts' back.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that looked crazy. Huge blackout at the end. Phoenix got so high with that. And then I liked the kind of fist bump at the end, the sign of respect. So I quite enjoyed this main event.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Ray Phoenix is someone who just goes out there and puts on incredible matchups. Like he's so insane with the fluid movements of his double rope jumping and Hurricane Ranas. Like he's so fun to watch. He's one of the highlights of this show. I'd say, like I've been saying, the Lucha Brothers just in general. Both of those guys have just been. I'm missing Penta now because I still feel like there's some story to be told with him and Ray Phoenix, but him not being in this ladder match seems kind of weird.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna have something on the pay-per-view? He should be on something.
He should just be added to this match.
Yeah. If not this, like find a singles thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Him, Sammy Guevara. Why not? Just don't need a reason. Just that'll be a good match, and neither guy are doing anything.
I'm seeing this for next week on some match announcements, and I don't know, is this right? It says 10 versus Max Caster.
Yes.
And the winner of that's in the ladder match?
Yeah.
So one of those guys over Ray Phoenix?
Which is weird because you would assume the Acclaimed would be in the tag match.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They must have something planned with Phoenix.
Okay. Maybe both of those guys get taken out or something. That just seems weird. I don't know.
I see maybe they have another singles match in mind for Ray, or maybe Penta wins and it's a way to kind of drive the two apart a bit, perhaps. I personally want to see the Lucha Brothers go their separate ways.
You do?
Because I think Penta is a great heel and I think Ray's a great babyface, and I think we've got 74 tag teams in AEW. I would prefer them in the singles match permanently.
I want like a blood feud between them.
Yeah.
Again. Here.
Completely.
I know they've done it before, I believe so. And they've had that match here where they were still not against each other, but they were like, Phoenix's mask was getting ripped up by Penta and stuff. It's like, I want that again.
Yeah.
I love Ray Phoenix. Archer, like, he holds his own. To me, he's still like a mid-card kind of guy for me. I'm not super sold on him, especially with that promo earlier in the night.
Yeah, that wasn't
the
good.
match was really good. Both of the guys killed it here. But for me, yeah, Ray Phoenix is like just fantastic.
Yeah, wait and see. Maybe next week they'll put him into something, but it is a bit head scratching. But overall, I enjoyed this show. I thought there was some great just wrestling on there. All the matches hit for me, actually.
Yeah, no, I thought tonight was an alright episode of AEW. I liked the main event, and I liked the Cassidy Hangman match. That was probably the highlight for me as well. Actually, the highlight for me over the wrestling was the Sting Darby Allin segment where Darby's flying in there with the Sting entrance. I thought that was super just lit. This is great.
Yeah.
I just love Sting. Remember all these times I kept saying Sting's going to show up to AEW? It's because I wanted to see shit like that. Not him just coming out and pointing a bat. I wanted him to come out, point a bat, and Darby flies in.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see, and I finally got to see that. And Sting beating up Cage. That was great. That
It was a
my-
good episode,
yeah.
absolutely,
That was
yeah.
my highlight of Monday Night Wrestling. Sorry,
Wednesday.
Wednesdays are for the boys. So that was AEW Dynamite from February 24th. Overall, did you like AEW or NXT more?
AEW 100% this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I agree.
No question.
Yeah, I agree. They have this crazy stipulation of the barbed wire. You had Moxley explain himself, basically saying you have to kill me or possible retirement or leaving for a little while if he loses. You had all the like pay-per-view matches kind of getting pushed, but more importantly, like you had actual like wrestling matches that kind of delivered for me. So that's what I liked. It's interesting because I shit on Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano opening the show of NXT because it was all like people ringside and involvement and hanky-panky, as I call it, shenanigans. But AEW does it just as much, if not more. Like, just maybe they do it properly, where it's like they actually just let the guys still wrestle the matches. 'Cause
Yeah.
Hangman and Cassidy had all the outside people and all that stuff, but the match was way better than before, the other show. So I liked AEW over this week as well.
As I said, I don't mind some like nonsense in wrestling. I don't mind some comedy, but at the end of the show, I need to know I've seen some serious storytelling and serious wrestling. And I need that to be the predominant factor of the show.
Right.
And then you can sprinkle in a bit of comedy for entertainment, but the overall thing needs to be, I'm not watching a comedy show. I don't go to my friends, oh yeah, I watch this great comedy on Wednesdays called NXT. You know, I'm watching a wrestling show and I want that.
It's true. It's true.
Oh yeah, I'm rewatching The Office. I've been watching Superstore. That's been good. And yeah, there's this really underrated comedy. It's 2 hours long on a Wednesday called NXT. Like, no, it's not a comedy. It's a wrestling show, and you can have comedy in it. Just like you can have comedy in a serious drama.
Right.
You can have a laugh moment. Doesn't make it a comedy.
Yeah. It's true. There's lines when comedy mixes with wrestling, and lately sometimes they feel like NXT needs to have that, where it feels like your WWE products that I don't enjoy watching anymore. So I know we're NXT and stuff, and we'll still talk about it and love it. I just think AEW goes for more people, maybe more so people our age, maybe the demographic. I'm not sure what it is that they're aiming for.
It's written by people who've had the same frustrations with wrestling we have had for the last 25 years.
I think so. It's like wrestling. They say it's wrestling made by wrestling fans. Like they enjoy wrestling. They miss what wrestling kind of used to be. Like for me, wrestling is about, yeah, I beat up your fucking dad, and then you chase us, and we get in the car, and we drive off, sticking out the bird. Like, haha, that to me is fucking wrestling. Now I want to see you guys fight, because you did that dastardly thing. Whereas in WWE, it's like, well, this guy's kidnapping me, and now he's got Stockholm Syndrome, and I think it's just like, well, wait, like, why can't we just go back to the simple times? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not that hard to get me invested in a match. You beat up a guy's dad. And that's it. That's all you need to do.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. We do open the phone lines for our patrons every Thursday for BDELite.
Yeah, any patrons who listen and want to tune in and stuff, Thursdays, 1 p.m. we do this show, and around like 2:30ish we'll be taking calls every Thursday. And it's not just AEW topics, but any topics, anything you want to talk about, news and wrestling and stuff. So patrons, feel free to join in on the fun on Thursdays.
Yeah, so I'd like to start with Jake from the Windy City. If you'd like to unmute yourself, Jake, and what would you like to talk about today?
Oh boy, hey guys. Yeah, I gotta say, with Dynamite last night, it's interesting. The broadcast team hyped the match, with the build with Shaq and Jade Cargill and Cody and Red Velvet. The broadcast team hyped the match, and there was like a video package. But what I noticed last night was like it wasn't really enough, but it just wasn't a problem with last night's show. I think that overall it was overall I liked how everything flowed last night. But leading up to that one, I don't know if they really told a good story. When trying to build it up, and Shaq combined with the AEW debut of Paul White's should pop a good rating for next week. But we can only wonder what type of number AEW could have generated if they had done like a better job of building to that kind of spectacle match. I thought Nyla, and I got to give it to on the other hand, I got to give it to Moxley for a very good quick showcase win. When just having that attitude and what that kind of offense and just like building up his frustrations and his emotions going into the exploding barbed wire match for Revolution. So overall, I'm really excited for the pay-per-view, and yeah, just it's gonna be interesting how it's gonna look like. On the other side of things, like with the ending of NXT last night, I don't think I have ever cried more or like welled up with tears. I think ever since like the Shield breakup, because that was like the most emotional shit I ever seen in my life.
Didn't we say it on Vengeance Day? It's like, I'm pretty sure one of us said that, like, yeah, like I feel worse than some certain relationships I've gone out of. It's like the Undisputed Era were my boys, and they broke up, and it's sad. I think one of our listeners
said
said
poor Roddy too.
Yeah, it hurts. It's like watching these guys fight, and it's like, come on, just why can't we all be friends? I think one of our listeners said it hurt more than his divorce.
Wow.
So like, yeah, it gets you, and that's good. Like when the Shield broke up, yeah, you're like, it hurts, but it's a good hurt.
Yeah,
yeah. The thing is that you never trust. I now understand that never trust somebody who used to be a member of the Bullet Club.
True.
Yeah,
very true.
Facts.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So it's so funny. So, yeah, it's a great day. Like, finally the snow's melting here in the Windy City. So thank goodness for that. So yeah, for real, right? Sister City. So really happy about that. Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah. So I mean, right, we didn't really talk about. You brought up the kind of lack of the Shaq story this week. Sure, we had the video, but did you think it needed maybe a Cody promo or something?
Yeah, true.
At least one more statement. Yeah, at least one more statement from Cody, or if like Shaq wants to do like one more statement from them. But yeah, I just don't know like if they probably dropped the ball on that end, in my opinion.
I honestly think they halfway through this went, I don't want to do this anymore, but we have to now. So
to be honest, I mean, they probably only had Shaq for a certain amount of dates. So if you're not going to have him on the show, I don't know what a Cody promo is going to do, because you're going once again, okay, he's calling him out, but where is he? Unfortunately, this match isn't really for us. We're all going to watch Dynamite next week, whether this match is happening or not.
Yeah.
From a promotional point of view, they need to be advertising this every single day on TNT. They need people to know that Shaq is wrestling, and people that aren't us three, right? Because we're going to watch the show whether he's on it or not. You want to get
it's trying to expand to the more mainstream audience.
Yeah, you want to get your mainstream fans, you want to get your NBA fans and all that, and it doesn't matter if they watch wrestling or not or care for the story. All they need to know is Shaq is on TV. So that's what they need to do this week, gearing to next Wednesday, is just hit everyone over the head.
Hey, Shaq's wrestling.
Yeah. Shaq's wrestling. Shaq's wrestling. Shaq's wrestling. You don't need to know anything else.
They could do a swerve maybe next week and have Big Show as the surprise if Cody's still dealing with that injury. Maybe they can do something like a little face off that Vince and well, back then we used to have that little face-off between Shaq and Big Show, and they were trying to make that match, but they can probably do something that Vince McMahon tried to do but didn't.
So you're saying
Vince McMahon who didn't want to do it,
or didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is a feud that could have started with Cody versus Shaq, then moved to Cody and Brandy versus Shaq and Jade, then changed to Cody and Red Velvet versus Shaq and Jade, and it's going to end up the Big Show and Red Velvet versus Shaq and Jade.
It's a huge cluster.
Why not? Why not?
I want Shaq and Cody to have whatever match and whatever happens, but I want Big Show to be out there. Like you mentioned, David, that maybe he should be on commentary. I think that's perfectly. And then you just do a stare down. Regardless, I think Jade and Shaq should probably win. I guess because they get Jade over. Like Jade should pin.
Jade
Velvet.
Needs to win the match. I think
Jade will pin Velvet, and then you can have some sort of stare down, and that's when I'd bring out Big Show, 100%. Because wrestling fans who are
and just one more thing.
Sorry, I think that all these fans that your friends who maybe used to watch wrestling or maybe not, but everyone kind of knows who Shaq is and everyone kind of knows who Big Show is. Instantly you go, whoa, Big Show and Shaq stare down. That's kind of big. So yeah.
Just one more thing here before. Yeah, just one more thing here before I go here because I know we have some other stuff. Yeah, I gotta say, I know I remember David that used to you were looking for some book recommendations. You've been starting to like you're starting for reading some audiobooks. I think you read JR's book, right?
Yep.
Listened to.
Yeah, listen.
Oh, listen, yeah. Yeah, I do have a couple of them if you want to look for more some more recommendations. I definitely recommend Chris Charlton's book, Eggshells, which is like the history of wrestling in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Because I listened to the audiobook as well as the physical book as well, reading alongside, and the one who narrated the book, our good friend Dan the Mouth Lavransky.
Nice.
He's an amazing narrator, and his voice is so soothing. So it's like, wow, I never thought that, Mouth would be such an articulate and soothing narrator.
Who would have thought?
Nice.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend that one.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, hey, thank you, Jake, for calling in and, not only listening and stuff, but being a patron and stuff. And I know, Jake, we have one of your Up Yours in the near future, and I know your pick. Do you want to tell people what your pick is?
Sure. I don't know if we have decided on a date yet, but
Not
I
yet.
would like to... Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, just
Wait,
wondering.
go for it.
Yeah, I would like to reveal that, John and Wei and W.H. Park reviewed this many, many years ago, and this was my introduction to Japanese wrestling. So my pick for Up Yours will be the 1994 New Japan Pro Wrestling Super J Cup, which featured Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, probably like their first ever exposure to them as far as like a nationwide and an international level, and it's such great junior heavyweights. Not only that, Hayabusa and Jushin Thunder Liger, and all the boys, especially that, and obviously great Sasuke as well. So I am so looking forward to you guys hopefully enjoying this and just watching the matches, and we can all review them. So really looking forward to this.
Yeah, man. Thank you, dude.
Me too. A lot of matches I've never seen, so I'm really looking forward to this one.
This show is really famous. The card the night you picked is super famous, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone kind of goes back and looks at this as like some of the stuff that, like you mentioned, this kind of got your attention into Japanese wrestling. I would say the same thing. When I started working with John Pollock, I asked him, I'm like, hey, I'm started getting into this Japanese wrestling stuff. Is there anything you recommend going back and watching? And this is the exact card that John Pollock told me to go back and watch. And this was years ago. So, I can't wait to do that down the line. We'll let you know, Jake. We'll be scheduling you for an Up Yours down the line. But thanks for calling in, and we appreciate chatting with you.
Thanks, man.
It's a great pleasure, man. Yeah, can't wait to talk to you guys next week. So catch you down the road, guys. Thanks.
See you, dude. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who's calling in here today?
That's it for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you for listening, guys, and supporting us here at Up Next and BDELite. Wednesday nights, Up Next. Thursdays, BDELite. Tuesdays, Deep Impact. We do all the shows. Shot in the Dark, where we'll have to be Is he going to change the name to Elevation in the Dark? Because that's the second show, right? There's not only a second Dark show, there's a second TNT show coming. That's 4 shows.
Shot in an elevator? I don't know.
Whoa, that's... Shot in an elevator!
Exactly, yeah.
That's a reach, but yeah. So many shows, and it looks like AEW and TNT have something in the works there. So that's 4 shows in total, not including like some of the other YouTube stuff. I know the other one will be on YouTube, but very interesting that they're pushing all these other shows.
Lots of wrestling.
So much wrestling. So listen to us talk about it. We mentioned the Patreon shows as well, but we will be doing a watch along and post show for AEW Revolution next Sunday. So not this weekend, but next weekend. Come hang out and watch the exploding barbed wire death match as well. And look for our best death match ever coming out as well before that pay-per-view goes next weekend. So I'm excited. All the podcasts. But do us a favor. Go on the socials at UpNext Podcast, Twitter, Instagram. Give us a follow. Give us all the likes. Help us out. And follow along with all the stuff we've been posting, including all the shows and updates and thoughts and stuff like that. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys listening and supporting. And we'll be back in your ears very, very soon. So take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And it seems that that's a hell of a way to go out.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDELite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDELite.